So 2018, I graduated high school and I came here. I was only 17. Um, like my older sister didn't really go to college. My two parents, they did, but they never finished. So I kind of felt like, I don't know, I was like doing something that I no one in my family kind of has. Like it was a new experience, so it felt new. It felt like kind of intimidating, especially being that I was only 17. The campus is pretty big, and it's very different from high school. Everything at first was it was not bad. Like everything was pretty easy. Like the first year classes, not bad, easy. Somewhere within that time, like everything just started to feel like it was getting dragged out. I felt like alone at school. I didn't really stay on campus much, so it's kind of just like a chore, you know. And the first, like I said, the first 2 years of classes are not bad, so it was okay, But getting into like the upper division classes, like it was harder, and then I didn't have anyone either, So I started to not really like coming to school. School became like really hard for me in like multiple ways. Like I told my mom, I was like, I don't know if this is what I want to do anymore. Like I don't know. I'm like confused and like I'm having a hard time. And I think like when I told her that, like she was okay with whatever decision I meant, like or whatever decision I was gonna make at that point. And I think that was really nice. It was really helpful because it was like if I didn't want to keep going, I felt like that was okay. But I stuck it out, and I feel like they've supported me through all this, so it was a huge help because I couldn't have done it on my own. My dad, he knows, he's like, it's the same thing. If I ever have a hard time with anything, I know that I can talk to him and he'll help motivate me again. He really puts things into perspective, and he tells me like, like I'm proud of you. Like, and that, I think just saying just those words alone is like, it's very motivating. I want to make him proud too. So it's like I got to keep working hard. You know. By the time like fourth year had come, I started actually meeting people and like staying on campus more, and kind of like brightened my entire mood. One, and then it's also helped me like academically. Like I think I enjoy coming here now, like and actually doing like all my classes, because I like engineering. Like I genuinely do. It's just a little discouraging at times when you get like a hard assignment and it doesn't go your way. So during that like semester, yeah, I started meeting new people and actually like socializing, and like talking to new people, and that's part of the reason, honestly, why I'm on Formula, like the Titan Racing program, because I met a couple people and they happened to be like shadowing for it at the time, and so this past year I've been with them, and yeah, it's been like honestly like I think the best time that I've had in college. Like the last couple of years I've been doing really well in my classes, and it's a lot of fun to come and like see everyone, like some of the Formula guys, we like to go out and like every week we'll go out and drink together. What do we talk about? Oh, we're all like, a lot of us are car guys, but like I don't know, we're all just like in E21, like having fun, like talking about whatever it is that's going on. Like a lot of it, like we have a little group chat, so there'll be memes that we're talking about, or like yeah, car stuff. And then like I said, we'll go out and we'll drink, and that's like a fun time. I know that some of the times like that we've gone, and like when we've gone like drinking, it's been like more like bonding. So like we're trying to like actually get to know each other. So we'll, like talk about like maybe why we're an engineer, or like why, like where did you go to like high school, like where are you from, like that type of thing. And like sometimes like we've talked about like family members and stuff, and like how we are with our families. Yeah, it's a lot of like bonding, like it's the boys going out. It makes me feel good, like I feel good knowing that like this is what I chose to do, and like these are the people that I've made or met, and the relationships that I've made because of like my choice in going into this like career and coming here. I'm like really grateful for it because there's a lot of like good people around me now, you know. So yeah, I feel really good about it. I think an important thing is like not to. It's just to like chill, you know. Like it's not that crazy. Like it's not. You don't have to think too hard about things. Kind of like it just comes naturally. Yeah, my dad like he told me he's like I think I'm gonna cry at your graduation. I'm like please don't. I'm not gonna be able to control myself then. But yeah, they're very proud and it makes me proud too. You know, did a lot of work to get here.